Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe, and you're checking out Weekend at Gabe's, and thanks for checking out this latest episode. While you're here, also follow us on these social medias at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, and also at The Real Sam Crane. Thanks for checking us out. You're checking out Weekend at Gabe with Weekend Gabe and The Real Sam Crane right here on Twitch TV. Don't forget to give us a follow on these social medias on the bottom of your screen at Weekend Gabe, at Weekend at Gabe's, at The Real Sam Crane across all your social media platforms and on your internets and interwebs. Joining us now, one of the best illustrators that we've come across on this show that have joined us, and we're really excited to introduce her. I'm talking about Los Angeles artist and illustrator Too Zen joins us here on Weekend at Gabe's. Good evening. Let me rope you in.
Hello.
Good.
How's it going?
Hello.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for taking time to join us. We appreciate it.
Of course. I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. I recently read, and I forget the name of the article. It's a local LA news print. Where is it at?
Was it like The Voyage? Something like that.
Yeah, and they were they were talking a little bit about, like, you know, when you finish on your undergrad, you're really struggling to try to find like your space and doing a lot of these part-time jobs, maybe like an Uber Eats 3 years ago that we're talking about, and just being like really depressed about not really finding your space, and then finding the motivation and the drive to create your own space. Talk a little bit about how you moved in from working for someone else to working for yourself.
Sure. So when I graduated, I made a very smart financial decision and decided to go to another country and like use all my money for that. And then came back with no plans post-grad or any money. So I was like, all right, like, what are we going to do? And I was working at a burger joint, and I was like really sad because I accomplished so much in college. So I was like, is this what it was all for, you know?
Right.
So I'm doing all these part-time jobs, and then I go on Twitter and I see that this girl made like $14K in a month off of her art. So I was like, if she can do that, you know, I can do it. And it's just going to have to be like a long-term game. So from that point on, I just like took it upon myself to teach myself like advertising, marketing, like different art skills and stuff, and like started building a business. And I even went through like one rebrand. So yeah.
Nice.
What was it like sort of setting up? Because your store is sort of bare bones, but it's really effective. Was that all you making it up, like everything from the ground up, or did you go to a web developer, or how did you get that sorted out?
Sure. So everything I've done, I've pretty much taught myself because that's like the most affordable way to do stuff. So originally I did have a Squarespace website, and it was like a little bit less organized because, you know, at first I had less merch. But as I grew the store, I kind of realized like I need to get more organized and make it a little bit more user friendly. So I switched to Shopify, and I pretty much just like did tutorials on like how to transfer everything from one site to another. And if I had any issues, I would just look up tutorials. Literally with anything I don't know how to do, I look up Google or like a YouTube video.
Right. I just think that absolutely. What was your moment of, I don't want to say success, but that defining moment where you reached a point of sustainability, and you're like, yo, like this is working, let's keep going?
I think the biggest, like, I would say what really solidified everything for me was during the pandemic. There was a lot of like things going on, like politically and socially. And so one of those, I guess I would say like, I guess there was like a lot of political turmoil going on, right? So especially with like Black Lives Matter and all of that. So folks kind of like ran to supporting like different Black businesses. And so I randomly just put my like links under like a random Twitter post. And then like that day I made like a few grand. And then I was like, okay, we're going to keep doing this.
Yeah.
What does that feel like as somebody over on this side who has never made a few grand off Twitter? Is that like a drunk high? Like, are you just like for days you're like, let me just go buy some stuff, you know, like, or is it more like, oh, now this is a building block and I got to put another one down?
I kind of felt like it was like a building block, especially because at that time I was still stuck in my college town. So I was saving to like come out to LA, so I can like get my own place and come back here. So I just like put it all in my savings. And like for a week, I was like, okay, I need to figure out like a process on how to like ship everything and like label everything and pack everything in an effective way. So that kind of like started teaching me how to like use like things like ShipStation and like kind of like formalize stuff. But yeah, I guess I could say like it is a good feeling. Like every time, you know, you make a lot of sales or you get like a big project, it's like, okay, I'm juiced. I'm the woman.
You can swear on the show. It's fine. It's okay. It's not for kids. I have to click that box every time. Talk about the sort of the logistics of it, because plenty of artists are super talented and they create all this great stuff that people want to buy. But it's that shipping of it that really is a stumbling block for people, because it has nothing to do with art. Like, how do you navigate that?
I feel like my brain kind of like separates things like in different spaces. And then I also like writing things down is like the biggest thing for me. Like I write things in a digital planner, like a little physical planner. And so like in one part of my brain, it's like, okay, we have the content creation / like art creation in the same like pile, and then like advertising kind of goes in hand with content creation, but that's a little bit more active, so it's like a different space in my brain, like, you know, like responding to tweets and stuff and like tagging myself, and then like shipping and like handling like numbers and like the taxes for my business is like a whole nother thing. So I just have to kind of like compartmentalize stuff, but I'll have like different days for different stuff. Like, you know, a tax day is kind of something I'm gonna do at the last minute, but then like art day, it's gonna be different than a shipping day.
Right.
So
go ahead, Gabe. Sorry.
So it is definitely like a DIY. You're doing a lot of this on your own.
Yeah. Like website updates is another thing too. So that's always something. And then right now, I'm working on an event too. So I'm gonna plug that real quick.
We wanted to talk about it. We want to talk about it. Talk about because you've got like I think 20 plus vendors now.
Yeah, I'm at 29 actually. So I'm actually handling all that right now, like on my phone, like simultaneously while doing this doing this interview. I'm gonna be like posting it at 6:30. But I got 29 vendors. I'm confirming a 30th. They just unfortunately won't be on like the print, but about 30 vendors, 6 DJs, 5,000 square foot warehouse on July 22nd. It's called Lucid Paradise. It's pretty much going to be an art show, vending event, and then like an EDM like show at the same time. BYOB, only $5 to support local LA artists and underground DJs and stuff. So yeah.
What's different about the process? Because you were up in Santa Barbara a couple weeks back doing a vending event for yourself. What is it like being on the organizer side of that? And which of those do you prefer?
Honestly, like it's kind of like doing another art project. So I really like it because it's just like I get to be creative in terms of like designing like flyers, and like it's another advertising process. Like I created a whole marketing strategy, so that's in my notes section. And just, yeah, it's just, I really like organizing. Before I even did my like art brand, I used to do a lot of events in college, but they were like more culturally oriented on like educating people on like Black and brown communities and like doing like Latin music nights and stuff like that. So I kind of get to mix like those old skills with like with my new brand, which is really nice.
Hell yeah. Talk about your love of sort of house music and EDM music. And sort of going through the pandemic, because we're friends, I follow everything that you do, and like I could tell that was a void for you. It's sort of like when lockdown was happening, like the ability to not go out and see concerts. So how important is it for you to have that house music there at the event and create that energy that we've been missing for so long?
Gotcha. I would say, I think like this event is allowing me to like kind of marry together like two of my favorite things, which is like really good music and house music. and art and my love for art. And then at the same time, I'm able to help support other small businesses and like small artists by giving them a platform. So that makes me really happy. And just like throughout this whole like lockdown, I think honestly, like as soon as I moved to LA, I started just like networking like crazy and like going to these like when I shouldn't have, I know, but like going to a lot of these like underground like events and like desert raves and stuff. So I started connecting with like a lot of like DJs and promoters and just kind of like out of the love for it, not really thinking much of it, like kind of connecting with people. And now I'm like being able to bring those connections to create something.
Yeah. Is there one artist on like your dream list that if you were to do this event again, that like you would really love to have there? And it could be like the most crazy, like dream big here.
I mean, if I was gonna go like a full like Insomniac style event, like of course I'd want to have like I would say like all of night bass, like Chris Lorenzo, G Slater, like some nice like bass house DJs and stuff. But honestly, I kind of like the like little local vibe like a lot more. I'm not gonna lie, like it's nicer to like kind of create those genuine bonds and connections and stuff.
Is there somebody on this event that we should really be looking out for? Like maybe I don't want to throw anybody else who's performing under the bus, but maybe one that you're really excited to have booked and maybe you've seen before and you're excited to perform.
I'm kind of like friends with everyone who's like playing, so I'm not gonna single anyone out.
Fair enough.
Everyone's great. Yeah,
everyone's great. It's gonna be a cool lineup. The homie Dirty Disco is gonna be playing. He's gonna be closing out the show. Techno Tupac. Kid Evil is going to go back to back with 3DD3I. I think I said that right. Chris Capuano, Ant Bubble Hash, who actually runs he runs an event called Hippie Flip Thursdays. So you can check that out on Instagram. All these people I named are also on IG. So
hell yeah.
So I want to I know we've been talking a lot about sort of the art, the business side of things, but I want to bring up how do we do this, Sam? Let's take a look at some of the work that you've done. There it is.
And we're going to try and wrestle with the technology, guys. Give us a second.
Listen, relax. I got this.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Some of my older stuff up here.
Yeah. So, what is sort of your motivation? What inspires you? What really turns or churns the imagination to project? Obviously, we know from like the Kill Bill, and some of this is inspired from media and film. But like, what about some of these other pieces? What really got you motivated? I really enjoy the licking of the brain piece on the far left. But you see that there's several different variations of you focusing on the brain or the head. So what about some of these that really just sort of just inspired you to go that route?
Sure. So I actually need to update this. This is like some of my older work. I got some newer digital stuff as well. But like a lot of my older like brain paintings, it has to do with like I would say like dissociation and what's the other one? It also starts with a D. Like dissociation and I can't remember the other word for it, but basically I would just kind of walk around like feeling like I'm outside of myself, and I would like experience myself as like being a brain within a human body. So like that's how I would portray that with like the brain stuff. And then like a lot of my newer stuff I would call like psychedelic surrealism. All this over here is from when I was doing like anime commissions. So I've had like a couple different like phases here and there. If you check out the merch section, I have some of my newer stuff too. If you go like to the home, yeah, and then down to the wall decor and stickers, that first one, the wall decor.
Top left, Gabe.
Okay. Yeah. And so if you scroll down a bit, just a tad bit more, yeah, you'll see like some of the newer stuff. It's a little smaller, but a lot of my newer stuff is more like colorful. I have like an emphasis on what I call my styles like psychedelic surrealism. So I like to kind of bring like psychedelia and like try to encapsulate that into like real life concepts so that they're easier to digest.
Yeah. I think what's unique about you are some of the tools that you use, because you don't stick to one. I've seen you paint. We just saw all the clothes that you've done. I've seen you do digital art. You just did the animation, which looked like it was an incredible amount of work, and it came out brilliantly. Is there? Well, first talk about some of the tools that you're using and some of your favorites. You mentioned your iPad and sort of keeping everything in the planner.
Yeah, and I'm actually like right now, like since I'm multitasking, I'm just gonna like post this event picture really quick. But yeah, I use like a bunch of different tools. So I started off initially like oil painting is like my first love, because I just love how easily it blends and how much you can make things look like hyper realistic and kind of bring like these fictional things to reality. And then I moved on to like the anime stuff for a while, which was like a lot of acrylic and clothing work, very two-dimensional. And then from there, I was like, I want to get an iPad. I want to learn Procreate. And so I saved up, like hustled like for like a few weeks, and then got an iPad and started doing digital on Procreate. That's also how I'm able to do like animations. And right now I'm teaching myself how to tattoo. I have all the stuff over here.
Yes. This is what we want to see. Yes.
So I'm learning to tattoo at the moment as well. And then am I doing anything else? I guess the new medium right now is event finding.
Yeah. Yeah. Multifaceted. That's what we love to see.
Multifaceted, multidimensional.
That's it. Yo, so talk about the tattoos, because I think it's super interesting, and not a lot of people, you know, they see the final tattoo artist, but they don't necessarily always see like the beginning and the fake skin, and that's like sort of different for people. How is that going? How are you experiencing that? And when can I get that moth skull slapped on my left shoulder?
I'm down for whenever. My first couple tattoos are going to be free, so that way no one can get mad if they come out kind of. But I have a fake skin right here actually with like a flash I did. So my process was to create actually the flash on Procreate so that the lines are all perfect, print it out. Then I have this tracing paper. I make a stencil, and then I grab the fake skin, and sometimes it's kind of like hard, but I rub this thing called stencil stuff on the fake skin, put the stencil on there. You gotta let it dry, and then you go in with like the ink and the gun and get it in there. This stuff's a little difficult because you actually need more layers than you would on real skin. You have to kind of go over it. But it's a full process. It's pretty fun. I've only gotten like 3 practice sessions in because with everything going on that I'm doing, but I'm definitely like trying to get in as many as I can so I can start working on people, you know.
Well, I'll wait till you get a few more in before I get that I've always wanted.
Yes.
So, I'll hold off on that for right now. But the Lucid Paradise that's going down on July 22nd, if you're in LA, over at DAF Studios on 2234 West Temple Street. So if you're in Cali and Los Angeles, go make that part of your weekend in a couple weeks. It sounds like it's going to be very fun.
One more question, because we are getting close to the end here, but I want to talk about your love for yerba mate.
Oh my God!
It brings me great joy to see you after you've chugged one and getting ready to do some art. So talk about yerba mate.
What is this, by the way? You have to explain this to me.
Gabe doesn't know what this is.
What is this?
It's a caffeinated drink, and I really like it because it's easy on my stomach. It doesn't hurt my stomach like other caffeine. And I don't have to even drink the whole thing, and I'm super zooted. I'm ready to go. Like I drink one right now, so obviously I'm ready to go. You know, I pull these all-nighters after drinking them. And I love yerba mate so much, and I kind of, because it was a really big thing at our school, and I saw that the producer, Kenny Beats, I had seen that he was collabing with them, and I was like, I wonder how he's doing that. So I reached out to Yerba through their social media, and they're like, oh, we work with a lot of small creators all the time. Fill this out, and then like we'll be in touch. I filled out a little application. We got in touch, and now I have access to free yerba mates, free yerba mates, and they're actually going to sponsor the event. So I'll be bringing like 5 cases for folks.
Yo, that is incredible. I had this joke question written down, like, when's the sponsorship coming? But now I feel really stupid. You know
It's
what I mean?
yeah, I've been getting these for free.
There you go. Nothing better.
Nothing better.
That is incredible.
That sounds fantastic. Too Zen, thank you so much for giving us your time. We appreciate it. Good luck moving forward with the new endeavor with tattooing. The work that you have on your website is absolutely fantastic. The event.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate you giving us your time.
For sure. Thanks so much. See ya.
Go check out the website. If you're watching on YouTube, it's in the description.
Got it.
Perfect. And then do I just press like leave or do I just?
No, we got you.
Oh, okay.
All right, that was Too Zen here on Weekend at Gabe's. That was really fun. I'm really excited for her.
Incredible artists and so many things going on. Shout out to Yerba Mate for being the fuel behind all of that. I loved what she said. I think a lot of young creators could learn from her sort of compartmentalization points that she made there. That's a super mature thought, and I do not have compartmentalization going on in my life. My life is spaghetti.
Yeah, I don't know if I've tried to like tweet and do things while we're talking right now. It's incredibly hard, but she seems to have mastered the art of multitasking. So good for her. But DIY, do it yourself. Good for her. I'm really excited. I'm thrilled that she's able to do it and manage and be self organized, because I'm a mess. We need 3 interns for this show.
And interns is the emphasis word, because we can't pay any of them.
No, we have 0 budget. We're broke, baby. Hey, I'm Weekend Gabe. Thanks for checking out this latest episode of Weekend at Gabe's. Click on any of the links swirling around my head, and also hit the subscribe button while you're here. Thanks for checking out us here on YouTube.